It's Transformers96 here with another video review. This time we have the review of the Build-A-Figure from the very sought-after and popular X-Men wave, and that Build-A-Figure being Juggernaut. So this was a very highly anticipated wave for me, and it did not disappoint. And that extends itself to the Build-A-Figure Juggernaut. Really do like this Build-A-Figure. Character-wise, he's great. Obviously, one of the main X-Men villains that you think of when you think of X-Men villains, of course. So to get a Marvel Legends modern day, figure of him is really fantastic. So let's talk about it. Overall, there's a lot of controversy as to whether this is a good figure, because obviously a figure like this can be compared to the Select version. The Select version of Juggernaut is quite a good figure, so that can put more scrutiny on the Marvel Legends version. I do have the Select Build-A-Figure, and that is a fantastic figure. The paint and detail on it is incredible. Articulation isn't great, but also it's so big, and it's like a $25 figure, and it's just massive and chunky and super heavy and things like that. So, you can, if you do compare the two, obviously sculpting wise isn't as good. There's a lot more just smooth area on this one. Aside from his armor, it's all quite smooth, not a whole lot going on. There is some texture in the boots, which I like. There's some, a nice, boot texture. You've got like a little dots thrown out, throughout it, which look right and really nice. It kind of gives it that leather type of look, makes it look quite realistic. The helmet and everything has some good detail in it, as well as it's painted nicely. It's dark brown with a black wash in it. Same thing with all the little armor straps. There's some great texturing in the belt there, but then when we get down to just the muscles and everything, it's all quite plain. You do have a few sculpted veins, which I do like. They're quite noticeable, and I like the fact that they're different on both sides. They didn't just copy the same thing, so I am happy about that. Get some great veins in the hands there. I think that looks really nice. And then the chest, of course, is rather plain though. Overall, I still like it. I like it, sometimes when a figure looks plain, it looks cartoonish to me. Let's see, the Hobgoblin Build-A-Figure, that looked cartoonish to me. I just reviewed another figure pretty recently that I thought looked cartoonish. Oh, the Onslaught Build-A-Figure. I think that looks cartoonish. But this one, on the other hand, it doesn't look too cartoonish to me. I'm not quite sure what it is. I think that it might just be those few areas that have some good texture, like the armor and the boots and belts. I think that just having areas on it that have really nice, realistic looking texture and paint, it allows you to be okay with the smoother areas, while that Hobgoblin and Onslaught Build-A-Figure, both of them, I really didn't have that. They just had the smooth areas and the cartoonish features and bright colors and things like that, which gave them a cartoonish look. However, this one I really don't personally feel it looks cartoonish. I think that it looks comic book, which I do like a lot. The head, I like the sculpting in the head there. You can see his teeth are really sculpted nicely, and his eyes, when you're looking at it above, looking down at it, you can see the facial features very nicely, but from your angle right here where the camera is, obviously the eyes are being cut off. So maybe the helmet being slightly lower would have been a little bit nicer. The head pops off pretty easily. It's just on a little ball joint. As you can see, there is a head in there that's just kind of glued to the helmet. I think I've seen customs where people have actually removed that and sculpted hair on it, and it actually looks pretty nice. I would have loved, like Deadpool in this wave, to come with an unmasked Juggernaut head sculpt, like as a variant piece. I think that would have been awesome, but unfortunately we didn't get that. I do like it a lot though. The head, like when you have it up like this, I think that it looks quite strange, the way that it's off of him, because I've always, Juggernaut, his head should be like on his body, so, I don't really like the look of that. However, if you have his head pointed down, it kind of takes away from that and it doesn't look too bad. I've also thought in pictures that the head looked too ovalish and not, or ovalish as far as up and down, because Juggernaut, he should have a roundish head, and to the sides it should be like an oval instead of like this. He had more of a pinhead type of look in some pictures I've seen. In person, I don't see it. So if you're just looking at it and you kind of see like a pinhead type of look, I think that in person, once you get it, it won't be an issue for you, because that's how it was for me. So going over articulation, it's quite good. He's got a ball jointed head. He can look up a fair amount, and he can look down a fair amount as well. As you can see, not too much movement there as far as the hinge goes, but still a decent enough. He has a slight pivot to it, and then of course a full swivel. Hinge swivel elbows. Don't know why I said elbows. Hinge swivel shoulders. We have a bicep swivel. Just single hinge elbows. Hinge swivel wrists. It's got an ab crunch, which can go down a little bit, decent amount. And it can go back, pretty decent amount as well. He's got a ball joint hips, which can go out a fair amount and to the side quite far. Swivel at the bicep, or sorry, at the thigh. Hinge knees, and then hinge pivoting ankles. The pivot works really nicely. So overall, articulation is very standard for Marvel Legends. The only difference being that he has single hinge at the elbows and knees, while most Marvel Legends have double hinges. Some Build-A-Figures, though, have just single hinges. This would be one of them, purely because of their bulk. So, it's a lot harder to put double hinges on features like that. So, he doesn't have the best hinge elbows or knees. However, they're still functional. And one thing I do really like is you can get him in that the iconic Juggernaut charging pose, where he's got one foot on the ground, which is really nice. His feet are big enough, and with that ankle pivot, you can get him in a nice charging pose, which is really cool. And it's very easy to get him in the charging pose as well. It's not like you have to fiddle with him forever to get him to balance or anything. You can just throw him up there like I just did, and it's pretty easy. So really do like the fact that he can, do the jogging pose very easily and without any sort of assistance. So overall, this is a nice Build-A-Figure. You do need to buy 7 figures to build him, and when you have to buy more than 6 figures, I expect that you either get more accessories or that the Build-A-Figure itself is just bigger. This guy is very big. When you compare him to, let's just say, Deadpool from the Wave, as you can see, he's very big, not only height-wise as well as bulk-wise, and when you compare him to other Build-A-Figures, he's very big as well. I expected him to be around the same size as Abomination. He is actually bigger than Abomination, noticeably bigger, which is quite nice. That was surprising to me, and it's a good treat. So I think that the 7 figures warrants, that the size of this Build-A-Figure warrants 7 figures, and it's not just a way of Hasbro being able to put in a Build-A-Figure piece with more people. So I do, because like with Onslaught you had to buy 7 figures to build, and he definitely doesn't deserve that. But Juggernaut does deserve the 7 figures. So overall, really do like this Build-A-Figure. Figure-wise, it's quite nice. Character-wise, it's fantastic. And it's just the cherry on top of just an incredible wave, and probably the best wave of Marvel Legends that I've personally collected. And I've collected all of the Hasbro ones. So overall, really do love this Build-A-Figure and this wave in general. I will be ranking all the figures if I haven't already posted that video. So there you go. Let me know what you guys think of this Build-A-Figure, and thanks so much for watching.